Hi there, guys. It's Sue at Miller's Laboratory. Thank you for joining me again today. I'm really happy to see you. Today I'm going to try to recreate Roxy's weekly challenge number 11, where she used a product called straw paper cutlery packets to make library pockets. And the problem I'm having is that is a product that I cannot find here in the United States. Rachel lives in Italy, and she does, or at least she did, have these for sale in her Etsy shop. We can't find them here in the US. The closest thing we have to a little cutlery sack, I did save this one from us going out to dinner the other night at our restaurant here in town. It's a little brown paper sack, and it came with silverware in it, or it's not silverware, it's the plastic stuff, I think, or disposable anyway. And the difference here is that this is a lot narrower than what Rachel had and shorter, and made out of different paper, obviously, but also this is gusseted, and so because they gusset it, it can be narrower. If it was a flat bag, it would be wider. But so I think I can still make some pockets out of this, but they're just going to be a little narrower than what she did. So we're going to try it. So what I want to do here first is I'm just going to kind of cut this gusset out because I want not a lot of bulk here on the end. I'm going to try to recreate what she had. So I'm just cutting off most of this here. Just making sure that I don't cut too far. And then I'm going to just fold that down and glue it so it will be sealed on both ends. And then we're going to cut it in half. Okay? So bear with me here. I think we can make a cool pocket. It will just be a little bit different than hers was. And then after this is done, I'm going to show you some other ideas that I had to a little bit better replicate what she got with hers. Okay, so now basically what we have here is just a tube that's sealed on both ends, basically. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. I'm just folding it so that I have a line to work with. Use these good old scissors. Okay, all right. So now we have two pockets, and we're going to decorate them and stuff, so don't worry about the logo on there and everything. I think that I'm going to glue the side down that has the restaurant logo on it so we don't see that. So I'm just going to come along in here and glue this edge down a little bit better. And then on this one, it's going to be a little bumpy because that's going to be on the front because of the stamp again, or the logo, but we're going to cover it up, so it'll be okay. All right. So how she made it look like a library pocket was she rounded the corners and then folded the front down. Okay, so a punch would work here really well. I do have a circle punch, and I'm going to try this one, which is a little bit wider curve, and we'll see how that works. Okay, I don't know. I haven't even tried this yet. You guys are watching it live here. Or it's not live, but you're watching me actually do it. Okay, so then we can fold that front down. And again, we're going to have these issues because of the gussets. I'm just going to fold that whole thing down like they're not there. Okay, and we'll just glue that. We're going to have some bulk on the front of this because of all the extra paper. But it is thin paper, your typical real thin brown paper bag. All these layers because of the gussets here. We got lots of layers to glue down. Okay, so now it does sort of have the shape of a library pocket, you can see, and We can put things inside the pocket here. So I'm just going to decorate that a little bit and we'll call it good. I'm just going to grab scraps here from next to me and we'll see what we want to use. And I think that's pretty just like that. And we'll trim it around the edge. I don't really want that cut edge on the side, but it can be cut at the top because it can match up with the top of the pocket. We'll do that. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope things are going your way. Life is treating you kindly. This guy, I don't want to get glue on that. We'll go do that next. I've been trying to do a little bit of cleaning and organization here in the laboratory. I have a long way to go, guys. It's quite a mess. If you are a person who struggles with getting rid of things, this may not be the hobby for you because every little thing, it's really hard to just not hang on to every tiny little scrap of everything. You might want to use it. And it is true that it's perfectly usable and a good thing. It just gets out of hand. It just really gets out of hand. Look at that pretty label I have here. Let me try another one. I'll have to link below where I got this kit. It's all these lovely sort of floral frames. And it's too much flower. It's just too much flowers. Let's put something else on there. All right, I just grabbed this. This is some of Rachel's paper. I'm just trying to cover up the seams a little bit. So you can't see now where I folded that flap down, or at least you can't see it much. And you really can't see this bottom piece that folded up. So, all right. And that's cute. So it's just a little pocket. Very nice. And you just glue it into your book. And there you go. Okay, so there's one, kind of following the basic idea. All right, we'll set that one over here now, and I'll do this one later. Okay, all right. So now we have a couple of other options here, and one is a good one to use an envelope because that's pretty much what her bag was like a tube that was sealed at both ends. So this is a pretty nice envelope that's like resume paper, nice and thick. I also pulled out this one, and I had kind of a laugh about this one. This was in with my envelopes, and this is from a shop in Ann Arbor that I like in Carytown. And I thought, oh, there's something in there. So I looked inside, and here are all these checks that I said that I had in the video where I made the real pretty tall, skinny tags. And I said I couldn't find these, and then I found them. So I'll link that video below here too. If you haven't seen that one, you can watch it. But this is a nice envelope. I was going to use it, but I'm going to leave the checks in there, and we'll use that white one. We'll just use this one. Okay. So first I'm going to glue it closed, and I'm just going to go along the edge of the flap all the way across a thin line. And then same thing, a thin line across the top of the envelope opening here. So that when I glue that down, I won't have sticky uppy bits that can bind things up. Okay, so now it's just a sealed envelope. You could use any sealed envelope you want. You could use a used envelope, you know, anything you want would work. Okay. And just going to keep it the size it is, just like I did on the last little bag. Cut it in half. And we have the same thing here now. I didn't cut it very straight. That's sad. Let's try one more time here. I'm not going to obsess about it, but all right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to hand do it this time because I want a little bit more curve. So I'm going to come down a little bit more here and then just turn my envelope and curve it up. And then we'll try to do it. If you really want to be obsessive, you can take this and put it on the other side and follow it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to freeform it. We started about here. We curved it around. I'm just keeping my scissors in place and moving my envelope to where I want it. Okay, and those match pretty well, I would say. All right, and then I'm going to, again, I'm going to keep the flap on the front because we're going to fold that down and it'll all be covered up. And we're just going to fold this down. And this time, because I started down a little bit farther, we get a little bit more of the back, which is nice. It looks a little bit more like a library pocket. And then the other thing you could do here if you wanted to, I don't think it really matters, but you could put glue on this flap and glue it inside, and then it wouldn't be sticking out on the front. So I'm going to do that just to make it different. So I'm folding it down here again and getting the glue on it. And this is the same kind of thing. You're going to want to make sure you get that glue right to the edge of the little flap so that stuff doesn't get hung up on it when you're going in and out with a tag or whatever you're putting in there. All right. So there's that. Just kind of smooth it. Okay. All right, and then we can add something on there. Yeah, that's nice. Definitely a better size here on this one. Let me grab something to put on there. How about a little bit of dictionary page? That's always good. I like that. And I don't mind the white edge. I think it's kind of cool. I'm just going to glue that right on there like, oh, let's make it the other way. I always tend to do stuff in the same direction, so we'll try to challenge ourselves here a little bit. Just not put glue on all of that because I don't need it. All right, I'm going to go back to these little flower labels because I did want to try to use one. Let's see. I think that one is really pretty, and I do like that. I feel like we need one more thing on there, though. Up here. I'm going to put this down here. Do I want it to cross over on? I kind of like it there. I think I'm going to put some washi or something just running across the top there. Okay, let's go grab some washi. There's a pretty little one with butterflies. And this is not very sticky. So I'm going to, it's not very sticky at all. We're just going to run it across our glue stick here to give it a little more stick power. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Just felt like something needed to be there. And I did drop it down a little bit. I'm just going to wrap it around to the back. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that helped. Okay. These are pretty simple, but I like them. You could also slip a piece of paper, glue a piece of paper onto the back part there, onto this to make that look different. It's pretty. That wouldn't be hard to do. I'm going to leave it for now. Okay. All right. Now I grabbed this. This is just a piece of paper. This is from I don't know. it was like a box of all these folded patterns for embroidery, quilting, all these different things. If I ever found it, I would buy it again because I think it makes an excellent background and I just love it. I've used a lot of it, but I still have a lot more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with this side because it's multi-directional. It could go this way or this way, it wouldn't matter. If you used a book page this way, let me just grab one here, and made it into a tube, which is what I'm going to do. When you cut it in half, you're going to have one with the words right side up and then one with the words upside down. If you're going to totally cover it up, that's fine. Or if you don't mind having the words upside down, that's fine too. I'm going to just put a little glue along this edge and along this edge. And this is like, probably should have trimmed this down a little bit before I did it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to fold these together to make them into a tube. Now you could just fold it right down too, I'm just going to say, but I just want to show you that if you make it into a tube, then you can decide where you want this seam to be before you flatten it and make it into pockets. Does that make sense? Okay, I just make sure those glued edges are down good. Okay, so I have a tube here. There. So here's my seam. I could have it right on the side if I wanted to, and then you really wouldn't see it at all. Or if I wanted it to like go up the back of the pocket like this, you can do it however you want. Okay, I'm just gonna choose to put it on the side, just because. And now we just have this tube. And if you want, you can go ahead and glue the top and bottom now, or you could do that after you cut it. It doesn't really matter. Actually, I just thought if you cut it first and then glue it, you could use a book page because you could make it go the other direction. Does that make sense? I might have to show you one. Okay. All right, let's fold this in half. And this is a little bit big, but let's try something with this, okay? We're going to keep it that tall because you know how some library pockets have a taller back on them? We'll try to make a little bit of a taller back on this. Okay, so we have our two pockets here now. All right, let me just grab that book page. This isn't a very good one to choose. Here, let's do, here's another dictionary page. Let's use that. Okay. So we'll make our tube again. But I'm not going to glue the ends closed. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it in half. I don't know why I'm being so particular about it exactly being in half. It doesn't have to be. You could have one pocket be taller and the other one shorter. Okay. Okay. So now on this one, I would glue this part shut. And then on this one, I would glue this part shut. And then we have two pockets where at least the words are in the right direction. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do that. Where do I want it to be? I'm trying to decide where I want it to be. I'm going to do it like this. So this will be the front. We have that kind of offset a little bit there. Just glue this down. All right, here's this one. And I like that torn bit, so I'm going to put that on the front too. Okay. All right, so we have these two. We have these two. I could do the other half of my envelope one. And I could do the other half of my little tiny cutlery bag too. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute, gather some stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Got a few things together here, and we'll see how much of these we can get done. Let's do this pretty thing on the front and just put that pretty picture on there, and I think that's all I will need. Simple and pretty. Okay, just keep it just like that. All right, we'll set that one aside there. Okay, now I've got this little other half of the cutlery bag. Do the same thing here. You know what, on this one, I think I'm gonna use the front just because it's gonna get covered up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it'll be a little bit smoother. That's a problem. So that didn't quite go all the way to the edge, so I just need to cut down along this seam, this fold a little bit. Let's do it over here too so we don't have the issue. There. Okay. There we go. See how uneven those are too? This one's really narrow and this one's really wide. So I've got some pretty music paper here, and then you can see I kind of put this together real quick so I would know what I was going to do, and then this sunflower. So what I need to do is get a flat edge on the top here because it needs to match the top of the pocket. So I'm just going to cut this off a little bit. That is going to be really pretty for a little summer journal or a, something with that sunflower. I love that. Fix that. My curves are not perfect, but that's okay. If you really wanted to do a lot of these, I would take a piece of cardstock or something and cut your curve, just a little card-shaped piece. And then you can use that as a template for cutting your corners, and you could get really nice even ones every time. Okay. All right. Now this is the white envelope one. So let's do that. So I'm going to, on this one, fold my flap down. Just going to put it on the outside. It's going to get covered. Okay. Then I thought, because I was talking about it, I would cover up the flap on this one. So I just need to cut it to the right width. So it has to be just a little narrower so that it will slide down into the pocket. Okay. So I'm going to take it and put glue on the back of it, glue stick. And then we're just going to tuck it down in there to cover up that white back, just for something different on this one, to just show you how I would do that. I'm trying to get it kind of straight. Okay. And then we can just cut that off. So I think I'm going to have this video go up on Friday afternoon, but I am actually filming it Thursday night. I'm looking forward to Friday and the weekend. I have something fun planned with my girlfriends on Saturday. I'm excited about it. I'm just going to put that right on there like that. It covers up the whole front. I like it. That's very pretty. Same thing with the glue stick. Yeah, so we are going to Grand Rapids to see Menopause, the musical, part 2. I haven't seen part 1, so I've been told it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. They're not like, it doesn't matter if you've seen 1 or 2. But we think it's going to be really funny and fun. So, all right. Probably get some dinner and just have some nice girl time, which will be fun. And then Sunday will be laboratory day. I will be cleaning and organizing further and hopefully doing some fun stuff too. I'm just going to put that little label on there too. And that one's a little more plain again, but that's okay. The pocket doesn't have to be, you know, sometimes my pockets are really plain. And if you have a really fancy tag sticking out, then you don't want them to be competing against each other. So I like that. Okay. All right, let's see here. Another dictionary, page 1. And I pulled out a pretty sample of, it's not real wallpaper, it's a digital, but of some really pretty wallpaper that I'm going to put on this one. I kind of like how that's got that on the back, so we're going to do it that way. Goes down. Yeah, so this would have been like a wallpaper border with this pretty scalloped edge on it. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it off somewhere because it's too tall. I do want to keep that scallop part. So we're going to cut it off at the top. So it needs to be cut, or I'll tear it. Let's tear it. And I just want to get it so that you can see this here and also get a lot of these flowers here. So I'm going to be cutting a little bit off both sides, and that's okay. They're big enough scraps, I can use them for something else. You could decorate both sides of these too if you wanted to, or you could have the back be plain and then it could be written on, and you could clip these into your book instead of gluing them down. That would be another variation that you could try. I'm just making sure when I do this that I don't cut into the pocket, because you don't want to cut that folded side off. Then your stuff is going to fall out sideways. All right, and that is super simple, but we're just going to let that be because it's so pretty. We're just going to have it like that. And we were going to make those with a taller edge. One thing that's nice about these is you've got the lines, so I know I can start in the same spot on both sides. I'm going to come way down here and do it. And then you can fold it down a lot like that, which is kind of neat, isn't it? I think that's kind of neat. Okay. All right. So we're going to leave it. You know, and actually we can just trim some of that off, but I'm not going to. But it's a lot of paper there, and you don't have to keep it on there if you're going to cover it up. Or if you want to just tear it off and have that torn bit on there, you could do that too. Then you wouldn't have quite all of this thickness here. That's your choice. I just grabbed this little bit of blue paper because I thought that would be nice to have on there, and then I just tore this out of a book. Isn't that cute? I like that. It's neat. Okay, one more. We're working quick. Okay, one more of these guys. We'll do the same thing here. I liked how that went, except for my uneven cutting, but it is what it is. Okay. Good enough. Okay, now which side do I want to be the front? I don't really like that, so I would rather have that. Either one is kind of weird. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of this and put it inside there. Let's try it. It needs to be a little narrower. And we're just going to stick it down in there. Oh, I didn't make it quite narrow enough. There. So that it covers up the words. And then it's like that. And then we'll do one more thing. Let's glue that down. Okay, like that. And then just trim a little bit more there. And then we'll punch a little notch, thumb notch in there. Just a little bit. I don't really want to cover up the words because I think they're cute on there. There we go. All right, so there's that one. All right, so let's take a quick look through and see what we got here. So we have this one. It'd be cute if I had a little tag to tuck in there. Let me grab one. Okay. So it's a paint chip. It does the job. All right, so there's that one. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So there's that one. We had this one. So the same. You could put the thumb notch in any of them if you wanted to. Okay. We had this pretty little one made out of a dictionary page and that pretty wallpaper image. And we've got this one. Pretty paper on the front there. That is from Rachel. Roxy's Creations. Here's a little tiny one with the sunflower that we made with the little cutlery bag, United States style instead of Italian style. This pretty little dictionary page one again with the nest on it. And this little guy, you saw me make this one more at the beginning of the video. I just added that little Celtic W on there. And then lastly, this one, which was the white resume envelope. And I did come in and just add an extra label on that one too. So thank you for joining me for this little video. I had a lot of fun, and I'll be back soon with another one. Take care.